Hi, my name is Manish. I am a coding teacher in Bright Jams, and I'm here to answer a JavaScript question, that is, what are closures in JavaScript? It's a very important question. So closures, if you can see that there are functions in its lexical environment. It means that if a function is created inside another function, it retains access to the scope of that outer function even after the outer function returns. It means that we know that lexical environment, or we can say that lexical scope, if a function is created inside another function, in the case of nested functions, that nested function can access to that variables of that outer function, or it can also access the parameters also outside the inner function. It can also access the parameters of that outside function. So that whole created its lexical environment. So any function that is created with lexical environment forms a closure. So here we can see an example that I have created a function that is a parent function. Inside that function, I have created one more function that is child function. Before the child function, I have initialized a variable in which I have write a message that I am inside the parent function. And after that, I have created one more function that is in which I have console a statement that I am inside the child function but access the parent functions. So in that case, I am returning the child function. So whenever we are returning the child function, if I call my function that is parent function, when I run this statement, we can see nothing is printed because whenever we are asking for the child function, it is also returning us a function. That's why we have to store that in a variable so that we can access that function that is returned by this parent function. So I can access this in a parent result variable. Now if I just call this result like this, and if you can see the output, then we can see that this child function is printed. That means, like, whenever we are calling the function using like this, the parent function, the child function is inside this function, and that function will be stored in the result function. So that what forms a closure. So closure is where we can, when any function created with this lexical environment, that is known as closures. In that case, the closure that remembers its scope, that in which scope it has created. The child function remember that parent function, that is scope itself. So whenever we are returning the child function, that child function returns with its function, and that function we have to declare in the result. And we have assigned that function the result, and whenever we are calling that result, we can see that output. In JavaScript, every function creates a closure, but mostly the nested functions are most stable for it. They are very important and very useful in callbacks in terms of handling the callbacks and all that functions. So then in that way, closures are very, very important. Thank you.